This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on analyzing what's happening in the world of video games this past month.
And only the world of video games. The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where if you chip in and help us hit $200, we will start That's Hell You're Walking Into, a podcast where I subject Ben to the various horrors of the Fate franchise. It's fun, probably.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. So yeah, hit us up there. We would really appreciate it. Like Ben said, this week is a roundup week. We're gonna just hopefully find some good news in all this shit, y'all. So, as roundup weeks go, we're gonna start with what we've been playing / watching and go from there. So you get to go first, buddy.
Well, I know something both of us have done this month at least, even though it feels like it was an eternity ago.
800 years ago.
Hey, a certain demo came out this month.
Oh yeah, the Final Fantasy VII demo came out. Oh yeah. God, was that this month?
That was this month. I know.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
no,
it
wasn't. Oh my God. March has been 18,000 years long. Like, it won't... I literally woke up this morning thinking, surely to God, we are finally in April. Like, I woke up and it was the first thing I thought. Like, it's gotta be April now, right? No, it's March 30th.
No.
For all the people from the future listening to this episode. Yeah, it's only March 30th. So yeah, the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo came out. It's extremely good. Wow, imagine that.
That is a good demo for a game that, like... Boy, that combat feels real good, doesn't it?
It feels... I have a single complaint, and I don't think it'll ruin the game for me, but it sure as hell is inconvenient if you've played a lot of Devil May Cry, and that is that the dodge is not dodgy enough. It's not fast enough, and I don't think it has enough iframes. That's like my major complaint is that there's a lag on the dodge, and I don't like it. I think it feels extremely bad. So other than that, like, I think the game plays extremely well. All the rest of it, all the juggling the different systems and magic and taking control of different characters and, you know, managing the new AP bar. I think all of that feels great, looks great, plays great. I just really wish the dodge was a better dodge.
I really like how this feels like the middle ground between something like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 12.
Right.
Yeah. Being able to like because when I played 12, as much as I like 12, there is sort of the whole point is to kind of set your thing into autopilot, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're supposed to set up your gambits that you don't actually have to press the controller all that often.
Right, yeah, the game can handle itself unless you're in, like, really dire situations.
But, and as fun as that is, like, this finds a good bridge between those two where, like, you can still do standard attacks for free and, like, automatically, but, like, having to charge up to do special attacks or just do spells and stuff, there's a lot of nuance and strategy going on that you're not really even aware that you're doing. Yeah. And I think that's just really interesting. Like, that's a really fun way to approach how do you adapt, like, turn-based combat.
No, I completely agree. It's very the swapping back and forth between characters and issuing commands and stuff is pretty seamless. I really like that. Just how easy it is to swap around and kind of manage the battlefield no matter what. Like, you don't ever have, like, it's not that Cloud is the leader and to issue commands to the other characters you have to swap to Cloud. Like, Barrett can give Cloud commands too. And all of that kind of works to where you have a really good flow the whole time. It doesn't ever feel unnatural to swap from one character to another, which is extremely important. Yeah. You want it to feel really good to swap characters. So, I enjoy it, like, a lot from just from what we managed to play. It feels good. It looks really good. Holy crap.
This game looks like,
holy crap.
I can't get over how good this fucking game looks. Like,
it just looks it's just tremendous how amazingly beautiful it is. Just all of the Yeah, wow.
Like, I don't know, like, there's certain things, like, I never really got to appreciate how big Midgar actually is.
Yeah, no, the sense of scale is obviously a lot smaller on the PlayStation 1 because even, like, the models, they could only fit so many models in a scene, even if it is just a flat JPEG pre-rendered background. Like, even those flat JPEG pre-rendered backgrounds couldn't be terribly detailed because that's still more information stored in a picture. So, like, even then the scale and stuff of Midgar is played down, but, like, you really get a sense of, like, oh, this is a massive city, and there's literally nothing like it in the world of Final Fantasy VII compared to Midgar. I love the little tech details. I'm so delighted to, like, I don't know, it's such a weird dream come true to be able to explore what used to be pre-rendered environments. I mean, this is a game I've been playing since I was a very small child, and so to actually be able to explore around those environments that before, like, your brain just kind of filled in the details, and actually being able to look at them is just, like, I don't know, something about it was just like, oh, it's weird to even be able to see, like, a train station in, like, a real train station in Midgar. I was just like, oh, wow, yeah, okay. This is like a real city now. It doesn't just feel like a collection of little areas. It feels like a whole cohesive, like, this is a city that's, like, linked together and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was just tremendous. Yes, I did cry a little when it fired up and the music started and it did the thing. Whatever, fuck you. I was emotional.
Don't judge.
Don't judge me. As soon as the music started, I was just instantly like, oh, God. Oh, my God, it's happening. Okay.
And I think, like, the best... I think I've maybe said this on the podcast before, but I know I said it to you, but it's like, they know how important it is to get this right.
Yeah.
And when you start it up and it's like, oh, my God, they recreated the bit where Cloud jumps off the train.
Yeah.
And, you know, back then it was amazing because no one had ever seen, like, full motion like that. Like, the cutscene morphs into the gameplay, you know?
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
And they recreated that spectacle for a new audience. That
God, when you don't even realize that you have control?
Yeah.
It's incredible, I know. It's just amazing. Where, like, where the camera swings around Cloud and there's, like, a half second where it's like, oh, wait, I can play now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit, the game just looks like a cutscene all of the time. Holy shit. Something we always dreamed about when we were kids was like, man, one day video games are just going to look like they're cutscenes. And it's like, oh, shit, we're here. Fuck. It's really cool.
I just think it's amazing that, like, this game, they're making this game, they know to make it not just for people who played Final Fantasy VII back in 1997.
Sure.
But also for people who have no idea what Final Fantasy VII is.
Yeah, it's wild how many people I'm seeing on Twitter who are like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna get the 7 remake. Like, I've never played 7 before, and I'm like, you should play 7. But also, yes, please get the remake. I'm excited for you.
Listen, you're gonna have to wait a while, so you might as well just play 7.
Play the remake and then play 7 because it's gonna be a long time before part 2, man. I got bad news. So yeah.
There's a few other things that I'm, like, eager to find out. Is, like, one which is, how are they going to handle, like, party swapping, and how are they going to handle having 3 characters to control? Because we got Cloud and Barrett, and I can handle that. But I'm also wondering, like, well, what's it going to be like when battles are balanced for 3 party members instead of 2?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll still flow pretty well. Just to see. But I am extremely curious and excited. Just by the scope of it. Like, I can't get over just the scope of it. And I am now, having played as, like, Barrett and played as Cloud, I'm like, oh, I really want to get to Tifa.
Right,
like, really badly. I really want to play it. Because, like, Cloud is fun and Barrett's pretty good, but, like, everything I've seen of Tifa's gameplay is just, like, made for me specifically. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm extremely ready.
You know, like we said, like, if you're a fan of Balrog, then, like, Tifa is right there.
She's right there, and she's perfect, and she's just, oh my god, it's gonna be the best. Everything I've seen of it. I love the addition. Some people are a little iffy about the addition of showing Shinra blowing up the Reactor 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of implied back in the original game. And a lot of people miss this because, again, it was 20 years ago and not everybody is insane like me.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, after the explosion, you can talk to Jessie in the basement of Avalanche HQ, and she says, like, oh, wow, that explosion was not supposed to be that big. I just followed the directions. So it was always kind of implied that something wonky happened, but it's interesting to see it put out in the open like that.
To see the focus put on it.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm curious to see what all the little... I still think it means we're going to see a cameo from Yuffie. Because they're trying to really frame this as being like a Wutai, like
mm-hmm.
frame the people of Wutai as this being like their
yeah.
work. So I am positive we're going to get a Yuffie cameo. She probably won't be playable, but she'll be a cameo.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right, because there was that trailer where they pinned the blame on Wutai.
Wutai. Yeah, they say that Avalanche is an arm of their Wutai enemy.
And isn't like President Shinra say like, oh, these are the guys that tried to kill me a little while ago?
Yeah. Or it's what Heidegger says to Shinra.
Oh my god, I forgot. That's
so
interesting.
They're more explicitly trying to pin the blame and make it look worse, and
mm-hmm.
so they can make Wutai look worse. Even though it's really interesting because at this point in the timeline, in the original, Wutai's been pacified, but it's like a really shaky kind of short-lived alliance. Like, it mm-hmm. hasn't been very long, and it's not really a thing anybody wants. So who knows? I'm really excited to see where they go with that. Just in general, like, oh my god, man.
Yeah.
It's so close now, and some copies are already out in the wild. I'm just ready for it. I'm ready for it. Oh god, I'm sitting here wondering, like, if I pre-ordered it now, could I get it early?
Would it be on that shipment if you could do that right now?
If I did it right now, could I get it early? I'm like, I don't know. If all else fails, I'm just gonna buy that bitch off the PSN and just go to town, deleting everything off my PS4, because that fucking thing is 100 gigs. Like,
that's like a quarter of your hard drive.
It's most of my hard. No, because my hard drive is. Yeah, it's only the 5. You're right, because it's only the 500 gig model.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to delete. I'm going to have to, like, just... Everything is getting the axe.
Yeah, everything's got to go.
Everything I've ever downloaded is just going to have to go and be like, sorry, I'll see you again someday.
It really is a small mercy that, like, save files are only measured in the megs, and, like, it's the game itself. Because could you imagine being like, well, you got to delete your save data?
No, well, no, that would be too cruel. I would just mm-hmm. have to actually learn how to put things onto Sony's cloud. But fortunately, that's not a problem, because otherwise that would be truly the darkest timeline.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not about that. Like, boy, I'm super fucking thrilled. Like, they nailed it. They crushed it with this.
They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. It is so.
They got all the quirkiness that you like wanted.
Boy, they made Jessie and the others real endearing.
They sure did.
You motherfuckers.
They really went out of their way to make sure Jessie was an endearing character that people would be invested in.
You really just gonna do that?
They got Futaba to voice her. That's
great. You're really just gonna do us like that. Just make those 3 likable and actual characters. And okay, that's fine, Square Enix. I see how it is. I'll remember this.
Mm-hmm.
You bastards. How could you? Yeah. It's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I really, really think... I don't think they can put the Aerith's thing on the end of a part, because I think new fans will just drop it after that.
Oh man, who knows?
They've gotta keep going, because otherwise we're like, well, I'm not buying the third part then.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about that with on a Discord server today. Like, there's really only 2 places you can end part 2, and that's either with Aerith or after the Northern Crater.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time in Northern Crater where it's like the big thing about Cloud, which I'm not going to say here because there might be like 3 people on the internet who listen to us who don't know the plot of Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, like it's either they end it with Aerith or they end it with what happens in Northern Crater. And either way, it's like the ultimate gut punch. It's so just like, fuck you. Have fun waiting for another year and a half.
Right?
You know? Like, there is no other really good natural place to end it from there. Like, and you can't do the thing with Aerith and then have like 10 hours of game afterwards because it needs to be like a punchy thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's either way, it's gonna suck because you're gonna get hit with like this horrible moment and then you will have to wait, and I'm just gonna hate it the whole time.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a pleasant experience for anyone playing it.
Can't it just be 2? In a perfect world, it'll just be 2 parts. Where it's Midgar and then the rest of the game.
Can you imagine if it just ends up being they put all their expansion into Midgar?
And so the rest of the game is just a 1-to-1 recreation of Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, the rest of it's just like, it's nothing got cut, but they didn't add
anything either. I could totally see that. That'd be hilarious.
There's like 3 or 4 new games in the Golden Saucer, and that's all they ended up adding.
That's it. The rest of it's just like a perfect 1-to-1 recreation of Final Fantasy. For some reason, it goes back to being turn-based combat and overhead.
No, they just staple on the HD remaster that's already on like PSN and everything.
Yeah. And then they just put the new models on top of the old top of the old pre-rendered backgrounds.
But only in the battles. It's still the old Popeye arms for the out cutscenes.
That's amazing. God. Okay, what else?
What else did I do? So I finished season 1 of Transformers Prime.
Okay.
Boy, that's still a really good show.
Yeah?
It continues to be really, really good and like surprisingly dark in a lot of areas that I didn't expect for a kid's cartoon.
Yeah.
And so I'm eager. Like, Netflix only has season 1.
Okay.
Which is dumb.
There's more?
There's 4 seasons.
There's
3 seasons and a movie.
That's weird.
Yeah. And so they only have season 1, so now I gotta go hunt down the rest of it somewhere.
You have to go hunt down somewhere.
Yeah, I have to find it on the back of Optimus Prime. Because he's a truck.
Oh, I get it. The Gorge does not promote the very cool crime of piracy.
What else? I also watched, Melissa and I watched Documental.
I've never even heard of it.
I enjoyed it. It's a very fun show on Amazon.
Okay.
It is a Japanese reality show where they get 10 comedians in a room for 6 hours. And the goal is to try to make the others laugh, because if you laugh, you get eliminated.
Right.
So what ends up happening is that you think it would be like a very funny show, right?
Right.
It's not.
Oh.
Because everyone is trying really hard to not laugh at their own jokes.
Oh no!
So what you get is you've watched Battle Royale, right?
Sure.
You remember how tense that one scene where it's the girls in like the apartment and they're all cooking for each other?
Yeah.
And like one of them puts poison in all the food?
Yeah.
And like even though they're being really sociable, there's still this like sense of like hostility in every word and this tension of someone's gonna snap at every moment.
Right.
Imagine that for 4 45-minute long episodes.
Oh no! Oh, that's really tense. Okay.
But it's funny because like they'll like, you know, talk to each other and they'll like try to do subtle things to make the others laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone does break and like they, you know, the host like presses the buzzer to stop the stop so he can go in and say who was eliminated.
Yeah.
Everyone just immediately breaks because they can finally laugh.
Oh god, that's amazing. So after the buzzer, they actually can like laugh.
Yeah, they like the timer stops and like the guy walks in and he's like, "Oh, you laughed and here's the footage of you doing it." And they're like, "Why did you laugh at something that stupid? What's wrong with you?" And like,
oh, that's good. Okay, that sounds interesting.
But then it starts up again and everyone's just completely stone faced the whole time.
Oh my god.
It's
all right.
It's just this like gut-wrenching tension that just breaks every 15 minutes or so.
Okay, that sounds neat.
It's like really, really, because it's just like how serious like these comedians take their humor.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a room full of straight men trying to be the wacky one.
Right, yeah. Trying to get somebody to laugh. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's really good.
It's good. It's also like very vulgar because there literally are like no rules. Like you can do whatever you want.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was great. We watched the first season. I think there's like 3 seasons, and they're short. There's because they only have 6 hours of footage to work with, so they're not
right. Yeah,
you're not getting a full season of it. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes for the first season.
Okay, that's pretty digestible.
Yeah. And as far as games go, so I bought they had the sale for the Castlevania remaster pack for Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood.
Oh, okay.
I picked those up and I discovered that I really, really like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
And I do not like Rondo of Blood.
Oh no, why? What's the difference?
I do not like classic Castlevania.
Oh, okay.
Not a fan. Like the side-scrolling progression type. Yeah. I do not like that.
It's too much of a slog.
It's too demanding.
Yeah.
It requires you to be too perfect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't lend itself well to like actually making progression.
Yeah.
Because it's got the thing like old Castlevania said thing like you can only jump at a certain angle,
Yeah,
and you only have, there's no way to reliably recover HP.
Right.
If you take a hit,
there's nowhere near as much wiggle room.
Yeah. Whereas a Symphony of the Night is you find a save point and then you can restore everything. You can upgrade and level up and get new gear.
Yeah,
and,
it's basically just it is literally the great grandfather of Bloodstained, a game we really like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, Alucard is a really cool character, and it's fun to play as him. He has a cool backdash where he leaves after images every time he does it.
It looks cool. Shut up. We love it. Game still has really cool pixel art, and yeah. Great music. Holy shit. Still great music. I really want to sit down and actually play Symphony of the Night at some point. But hey, have you noticed there's a lot of video games and stuff coming out?
There's a lot of video games coming out.
And I just, and like things are kind of dicey out there, folks. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of play what I want until Final Fantasy VII comes out. Mm-hmm. So it's fine. I definitely have not been very on my game of like trying new things. It's like, no, I want some video game comfort food right now. Yeah. So I haven't really played anything new, but when we get to mine, no, it's okay.
Yeah. And then, so beyond that, I did pick up Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal.
Sure you did.
Both of those are great for exactly the reasons you would expect them to be in these trying times. It's good to relax on your little island paradise and kind of gather some twigs and rocks and build a hatchet and, trade fruit with your animal friends. And then also it's good to, scream and tear a demon in half and chainsaw a vampire into pieces and rip the wings off a gargoyle, You
have a grappling hook in Eternal, right?
Yes, the super shotgun has a grappling hook now.
That's just the best.
It's
God,
great.
That's so cool. I want Eternal so badly. I actually can't believe I want Eternal more than Animal Crossing at this point.
They have done a really good job of we've talked before about how like everyone tries to emulate the franticness of Halo and how Halo was balanced around the 2-weapon system because they wanted you to feel like you're in a battle where you're trying to scrounge for resources.
Yeah.
And every other FPS since then with the 2-weapon system has tried to copy that and failed, right?
Right.
Doom is the first one that captures that feeling and yet still has a weapon wheel.
Yeah.
Because you do not have as much ammo as you did in 2016.
Right.
They are very much encouraging you to use the chainsaw way more often.
Oh, okay.
A pip will restore automatically. You don't have to gather gas cans for it.
Oh, that's good. Thank God.
So a generic enemy, you can almost always hack them and get a spray of ammo.
Okay. That's awesome.
So with that, they've also balanced it so you don't quite feel like you are an unstoppable tank.
Right.
You don't feel vulnerable, but there is a lot more tension and playing smart in every like encounter.
Yeah, I've heard it is even more so, like an actual Devil May Cry, like a first-person Devil May Cry.
You get air dashes.
You get air dashes, and it really is focused more so on like avoiding being hit. It's just, that's incredible.
It encourages you to switch weapons like frequently.
Yeah.
Like if you need to keep the momentum going, like you need to switch weapons.
That's just amazing. That's so cool. I'm so glad. I really want to play Eternal so badly.
They give you so much, like, so much more equipment, and it all has a purpose. Like, the chainsaw is for recovering ammo. Glory kills for recovering health. And they also introduced a shoulder-mounted flamethrower.
Oh.
That you spray enemies on, and then every hit that you do subsequently will give you armor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're actually encouraging you to, like, make sure you're maintaining your resources, efficiently.
Yeah. Oh, that's all. Man, that sounds so cool.
Instead of just, like, going through with just, like, I'm going to use the plasma rifle and the super shotgun and nothing else. Why would I need any other weapon?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's great. And also, Animal Crossing is great for the completely opposite reasons.
It is way more chill.
It is a joy.
You're fishing and you're building things. I want Animal Crossing very badly as well. It's a horrible life to live, Ben, where I can't live my Animal Crossing dreams right now. I can't be on island time.
Don't worry, Animal Crossing will be there when you're ready.
When I actually have money for a Switch someday.
And probably by then all the DLC and patches will be out, so like all the stuff that's missing right now will be in it.
Oh good, thank God. I'll just play the good the final version of Animal Crossing. I'll take it, sure.
Yeah, that's about it for me this month. I thought I would be able to get a lot more stuff done, but actually working from home has not, like, given me more free time.
Oh, turns out, no. You still have to, unfortunately, do work from home.
I mean, I can play Animal Crossing during the day, but that's, like, I can put that down, like, way more easily than, like, Doom.
Yeah. It's hard to pull yourself away from Doom to do, like, tech support, you know. Yeah, no thank you. As for me, I continue to be a Fate mark. Like, that's the big thing, is that I've just fallen deeper and deeper into the Fate hole. So I've been playing, obviously, Grand Order more. I'll talk about that in just 2 seconds. I started the Lord Elmaloy II Case Files anime. I only got one episode in before my Wi-Fi fucked up, and I was like, fuck, I'll watch the rest of it later. That's good.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh boy, it is basically it was like tailor-made for me, because even from like the stuff that I saw in the first episode, it is shockingly crunchy when it comes to Fate lore.
Ooh.
Like I watched the prologue episode, so like episode 0, kind of like how, UBW had an episode 0. This has an episode 0. I watched episode 0. It's really good. And then I watched episode 1. And in episode 1, they literally mentioned the Mystic Eyes from Karo Kyokai. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
A character has Mystic Eyes. And it's like, oh shit, they're really just gonna go all in on like Nasuverse shit. Okay.
Just pull everything. All right.
I've been told that it gets even more dense later on. Like, it goes super hard with just really drenching you in, like, Fate world-building stuff. And I obviously think that sounds great.
Yeah.
So, I'm clearly going to keep that up. It's good. It's about Waver. So, like, yeah.
About Best Boy.
Best boy, absolutely. He's old and bitter, and he's surrounded by two guys who are his students who clearly have crushes on him. There's another Saber face who seems interesting, so we'll see. She's like a Saber clone. Her name is Gray. I don't know what her deal is, but she is explicitly supposed to be yet another Artoria clone. And yeah, it's good. It's been described to me as like an entire anime that's got the pacing of like the the Flying Pussyfoot sections of Baccano.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. I know, right? It's like, ooh, I'm listening. So it's like crunchy lore, and like it's, oh god, the full anime has like the most absurd long, it's got one of them long names. Mm-hmm. Lord L. Malloy. Case files. It's got a full name that is just like, it's Lord L. Malloy II's Case Files, Rails Zeppelin Grace Note. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what any of that means, but I know that there is a train involved. So, like, literally Flying Pussyfoot energy. So I'm excited to keep watching it.
You said the magic words.
I know. I said Baccano, and it's like, I'm listening. Yeah, it's good. It's so far, I mean, again, didn't get very far into it, but what I saw I liked. I've been told it's extremely good by other people, so I'm going to keep it up. And I also watched, I told you guys, I'm just straight up in Fate hell right now, so just sit tight with me. I didn't finish, because the last episode, I'm like, I don't pay for my Funimation streaming service, I just use the free version. Mm-hmm. So the last episode of Babylonia isn't up yet, but I got all the way to episode 20 out of 21 of Babylonia. Babylonia is good. Babylonia is insanely good.
You keep showing clips of it to me, and I'm like, this does look like... I kind of in a way like it more, like the animation at least, I like it more than the Ufotable ones.
I love the kind of floaty, this, I will tell you, it has some bad CGI. It has some really janky CGI. It kind of works for like the big bad monster, like the villain of Babylonia. She is like a huge CGI monster. And it's like, it kind of works because it makes her look even more like unnatural, which is what she's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, sure, okay. But there's also like mook enemies early on in the anime that are CGI, and they're bad CGI.
Aww.
So I'm hoping the Blu-ray release kind of tweaks that. You know how they do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, I think like I think the look of it is really striking. It has such like these really rich color palettes, and the animation itself has really good flow. It's not Ufotable. It is A1, or whatever A1 Pictures became, which was just shocking to me because A1 is, they did the not so good Persona 5 anime. But this is by A1, and it actually looks really, really good. So, I think it's great. The fight scenes in it are incredible. It's just like, it's the polar opposite of any other Fate anime, because like other Fate anime are kind of about like, like modern day, more like strategic. I mean, you've watched Fate Zero, and you've watched UBW. It's more about like this whole idea of cooperation and working behind each other's backs and all that stuff. And,
right.
There's more of like a human drama element to it versus Babylonia, which is just an adventure show. It's literally just, let's go on an adventure through time.
It's an RPG. It's an
RPG.
Fight your mooks, then fight your boss battle.
Yeah, no, it is. It even has like a like the final episode, like the final boss fight is literally like 3 episodes long because it's just such a slog to try and take this one thing down. Which is good because it kind of is supposed to replicate the feeling of like really hammering away at this character in like the context of of like the phone game. Mm-hmm. So I actually think it's really interesting because I am such like a phone, like a mark for the phone game. There are just parts in it where they just straight up do stuff that is in the game, but like animated, so like they'll just do moves that the characters do in like the game, and I'm just like, they did the thing, and I clapped, and I was very excited. It's that thing I like, and I love it. And I got very excited because Merlin's like literally line for line says something that he says in the game, like when you use him as a character. And I got really excited by that. I was like, I know that! And I don't know why. I was just like, oh my god. I got so excited, even though that's an extremely stupid thing to get excited about, but whatever. Babylonia is really good. I've really, really warmed up to MASH and like her whole character arc. And yeah, I have just thoroughly enjoyed it. Fate Grand Order is still really good. The writing in Camelot is just like, oh my god, it's amazing. It goes way darker than I was expecting, because like the America chapter is really funny and like just kind of fun. Like there's some stuff going on in it. It's like, oh no, but like for the most part, you're just kind of having a good time, like on an adventure in America with Lionhead Thomas Edison. You know,
the best character in Fate. Yeah,
the best character in Fate. Yeah, as you know. You're having a good time, and it's like, yeah, this is fun. And then you get to Camelot, and it's like, oh god, this is just emotional misery for huge portions of it. I love it. I think it's great. Just shockingly well written for a fucking mobile game. So yeah, cool. That's it. You know, I played more Doom 2016, just a little bit. I keep tooling around in Fallout because that's a thing to play right now when things are happening, you know? Sure, why not? Yeah, that's about it. So that was Sarah's, 15-minute Fate Power Hour? So, let's talk about the news.
Yes. Well, if you were looking for good news this month...
Oh, no.
There was some.
Oh, no.
But a lot of it has to do with the problems.
Let's talk very briefly about the troubles and yeah.
Well, I'll go down what I have here. Okay. So there's some good news, there's some bad news sprinkled in, there's some obvious news, but so first off, there was Tetsuya Nomura reveals new details of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Sure.
This was earlier in the month. He showed off, or they talked about some of the stuff that's going on. They talked about voice actors and how they got the roles and stuff. Specifically the Japanese ones, not the English ones. But,
right.
You know, talked about design and cool stuff.
Yeah.
Not like a whole lot of like super like shocking details.
Yeah.
But we have seen a bunch of new characters that got revealed.
Yeah, all the new Wall Market characters, which I think is neat. It's like, oh, cool, let's expand it. I love the guy who runs the Honeybee, the madam who runs a hand massage parlor, the guy who is clearly Yozora.
Yeah, there's one character who somehow manages to be the gas station attendant in P4 and Yozora at the same time.
Yeah, that guy is either actually Yozora and Nomura's just fucking with us at this point, or he's a secret super boss fight.
We'll know for sure if Dylan Sprouse plays him in English.
Oh my god.
Because he has the same Japanese voice actor as Yozora.
Oh my god, I'm terrified. I am like terrified to my core of whatever the fuck Tetsuya Nomura is planning.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is he's gonna be like, I have a side quest for you, and you're gonna do this kind of lengthy like side quest, you know, and it's like the whole thing is you're gonna kind of get to know this guy a little bit better. And like the final cutscene, he's gonna be like, "Thanks, Cloud. Thanks for doing this all for me." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem." And he'll be like, "You know, I gotta tell you, I would prefer if you used my real name."
Yeah.
Cloud's like, "What's your real name?" And he's like, "Yozora."
And then you know
the cutscene
and then we all scream and then the disc explodes inside of your PS4 and Tetsuya Nomura kicks down your door and tells you to go fuck yourself.
Then he shoots you.
It's just, you know, either that or he's a Sephiroth clone, which is also completely possible and would also be completely fucking batshit.
Yeah, it would be pretty insane.
I can't trust the man. He is untrustworthy. No one should. It's that Memento, that thing in Memento, the picture of the guy. It's like, don't trust this man. It's just Tetsuya Nomura. I don't trust him. He scares me, frightens me. Very quiet, very powerful.
We learned a little bit more about Roche, who is the soldier that shows up too.
Oh yeah, Redneck Demyx.
Yeah. Just like they talked about him a little bit. It's a pretty like in-depth a lengthy interview with him, but it's mostly just talking about like, you know, the importance of the atmosphere and stuff, like no like concrete details about the game itself,
no,
but just
of course
like
not.
Yeah, here's some cool things. Max Middleman is now Red 13.
Sure, Ryuji gets to be Red 13. Yeah. Why not? Good for him.
So that's 2 Persona 5 characters in this game now.
Oh yeah, that's right, because Futaba is also there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's, I know that I've heard that, as far as I understand it, Red 13 is a little bit of a smaller role in this game, because, he shows up at the end of the game. I think it's it's a little, funny, but also a little, that they get the known anime voice actors to play what you would call the bit parts. And then they get Hollywood actors to play, like, the main characters.
Right.
It's a little, you know? But it is what it is. You got Gideon Emery to play Biggs of all people. I mean, Biggs looks great and he sounds great, but like Gideon Emery is Biggs? All right. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what happens with him and character just in general. What are you doing? My dog is sniffing around me. Diva. I don't know.
So yeah, like speaking of like Red 13 though, like I think the idea is that like he'll be in your party, but you won't be able to select him. Yeah,
that's weird. I want to play as the cat dog thing.
Yeah.
Cowards!
I mean, it probably is like they haven't figured out his entire moveset yet.
Yeah, because he isn't in it very long.
And they're like, well, why would you bother trying to make him playable and try to work out like everything he can do?
Right.
When we can, because part 2 is in development already.
Yeah, of course.
So like they're... I guess that's kind of a smart rebalancing of, like, how you want to spend your resources. But,
yeah.
Still, I mean, they would get him for, like, what, like 3-4 battles? Because in the base game, like, he joins you for a fight on the rooftop, and then he leaves. Because the party breaks up into 2, because Cloud takes the motorcycle. And
he can help you fight Motorball.
Oh, can he? Okay.
Yeah, he can be in your party to fight Motorball. I always take him.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, he's only in... he only has 2 boss fights. It's the elevator boss and Motorball. Those are the only 2 times he's actually a boss fight character. I don't even think he's... I don't even think there's a lot of opportunities for random encounters when he's in the party with Barrett, like that tiny window where you're playing as Barrett. I don't even think random encounters spawn there.
I don't think they might. Either.
They might. I don't know. It's been too long. But either way, you just don't have a lot of time with Red 13. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm like we were talking earlier, fucking excited for that game. I can't wait to see what weird shit starts happening.
Oh my god, it's going to be insane.
I can't wait for us to both be like, that didn't happen.
That wasn't there before. What are you planning, Nomura? You shady, terrifying man? Yeah.
They weren't supposed to show up yet. What?
You weren't supposed to be here.
Gact? Oh no!
No! They did say that Gact is not in this game. Gone. They specifically made sure you knew that Gact is gone. I was like, yes, we're free from Genesis. Thank God. Our long national nightmare is finally over. I don't have to deal with Genesis in a Final Fantasy game for at least, I don't know, a year. Who knows? The future is a terrifying place now.
Who knows where he'll show up next?
God. Leave me alone, Gact.
Okay. Maybe he'll show up at this auction. The Nintendo PlayStation bidding war fizzles out at auction, sells for $300,000.
That fucking idiot got offered like $1 million, didn't he?
Oh, it was it was a huge decrease. He turned out an offer of $1.2 million for the prototype from a collector in Norway, says the article. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what he gets.
That's
he deserves.
It belongs in a museum. It belongs in a museum. It really does. To really channel my Indiana Jones for a second here. It should be in one of the myriad gaming museums out there, not just rotting away in someone's private collection where it'll never see the light of day again unless they deign to let it go on tour or something. But yeah, no, that's just. You know what? It sucks to suck, buddy, but you should have just taken... $1 million for a prototype game console that can't actually play any video games is a pretty good deal. But okay. 300. I mean, I'd take $300K right now too. But boy, you gotta be kidding. Because now you can never sell it for more. Now that it's been established how much it's actually worth to people.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the collector that did buy it is just like, here you go.
Yeah, give it to a museum or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
This month has been a lengthy saga for a company you and I like to call GameStop. So just to give you an idea of how long March has been.
It won't end.
Here's the first article in the saga, which is that GameStop appoints Reggie Fils-Aimé to board of directors.
Oh, Reggie, what have you stepped in? I don't even think he's officially even started at the company yet.
I don't either. I think he's gotta...
I don't think he's actually technically on the board yet until like April or something. That's the crazy part.
He's gotta be like, I just back off. I think I'm good, guys.
I think I'm gonna go back to teaching at Cornell or whatever the hell it is he's doing. Like, I would be like, I gotta go. Never mind. That paycheck can't be worth that much. I mean, literally.
So yeah, he gets inducted on there, and we were all like, "Oh, cool! Maybe Reggie will save GameStop. He might be able to turn this boat around." And then,
that would be nice.
Then the boat turned around and went into a whirlpool because 10 days later, GameStop says it's an essential retail service should stay open during pandemic.
Yeah, it's essential, all right. Yeah. And then, so then I know the next step on this story is that Philadelphia revokes GameStop's business license.
Yep.
Whoops. And then GameStop says that it's it will do curbside pickup. Like, you can drive up and and somebody will just bring your game out to the car.
So what happened was, it says it's an essential retail service, and everyone dislikes that.
Sure.
And then Philadelphia revokes its business license.
Sure.
Then, on the 22nd, GameStop closes all stores due to coronavirus.
Yes. So
recently,
a few
days ago, the article from the Boston Globe here says, GameStop to employees, wrap your hands in plastic bags and go back to work.
And get back to work. Yeah.
The idea is the doors are still locked and shuttered, so no one's allowed in. Mm-hmm. But they basically have turned GameStop into a speakeasy where you tap the secret code on the door and a slot opens up, asks what you want, and they hand it to you in an inside-out plastic bag.
Oh my god.
And then, okay, here, let me quote the article here from the Boston Globe. Workers have been told to wrap a plastic bag around one hand to protect it from the exposure to the virus, open the door a crack, and take the customer's credit card, the manager said. Employees are then to run the card with the hand still encased in the bag, flip the bag inside out, leaving the card inside, put the purchase in the bag, and hand it back through the door. What? What kind of fucking dystopian nightmare business transaction is this?
You got the stuff? Yeah, I got the stuff if you've got the money. Oh my god.
You got a Crash Bandicoot in there? Can I get a hit of Sonic?
Hey buddy, can I interest you in some Final Fantasies? Oh my god. It's like, I thought they were doing, like, the thing I thought they were doing was basically, like, the way I read it on the internet was you bought your game online, and then you could pull up to the store, and you would call the store, and they would bring you your game to the car, and you'd probably, like, show, like a license or something. But they're not doing that anymore?
No, it's...
That, like, marginally makes sense, but...
Yeah, I mean, like, because there's, like, a lot of, like, restaurant stuff that are still doing delivery or, like, curbside service, you know?
Yeah, you just take it outside.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why they're going through all this rigmarole of bags and cracking the door open slightly and, like...
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
running the card with the, like... with the bag inside the bag, like
yeah.
Ugh.
And then finally to cap it all off, because I know how this story ends. To cap it all off, after all this bullshit, GameStop announces they're closing 300 stores.
Yep, 300 stores are closing down.
Yeah, so this is the death knell for old GameStop. Y'all.
I am wondering what's going to happen, because GameStop is the only game store in America right now.
Yeah,
and
like
we've talked a lot about how like they're they're selling Funko Pops now and T-shirts and stuff. Like, what are you doing, GameStop? What are you gonna make it through? I don't know if the company is going to make it through this.
I mean, it's one bad PR hit after another, and then they close 300 stores, and it's just such a bad situation to be in. Like, it's dire. I don't understand. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling they're going to do what they did before, where they're going to just find any way to... So, like, they refused to not classify themselves as essential until after Animal Crossing and Doom came out, because they needed that revenue hit, right? Mm-hmm. They are going to try to do the same thing with Final Fantasy VII, because, again, they need that revenue hit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I am probably just going to buy it digitally because I don't want to go out and, like, attempt it. And plus I don't even have it pre-ordered. Like, I didn't even pre-order it at this GameStop because, fuck it, I don't care. I'll find a way to get it one way or another. So, yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen with this whole fucking GameStop fiasco, but it has been a mess, and March refuses to die. That's the name of this episode.
And like, I've seen people online who are just like, I pre-ordered the special edition.
Yeah.
Where am I going to get my cool loot, GameStop?
What happens if GameStop shuts down? And I don't know. I guess you just don't get your copy of Final Fantasy VII. I assume they just refund you your money.
I mean, they would have to, like.
I don't know.
But if the business doesn't exist, like, who do you get your money from?
I have no idea. It would be a slow process of shutting things. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see. We'll see. April is going to be just as long, y'all. There's plenty of time.
Get comfy.
Don't worry.
Here's another quote from the article, though, and this is from the manager of a GameStop.
Okay.
The manager said it was infuriating that he is being sent to work at a video game store and being told to protect himself with a plastic bag while a pandemic is raging. Quote,
yeah.
I have to make a choice between doing a job that nobody needs during a pandemic and not being paid, and possibly infecting people or being infected.
Yeah, that's about right.
Mm-hmm.
It's such horseshit.
Essential.
You're not.
No, we're an essential business.
Pay your fucking workers and close your stores, you pieces of shit.
As a video game podcast, you're not essential.
You're not essential in the least. No, shut your fucking doors and pay your employees for the leave. And just, whatever. It's vile. Hate it. Okay, next.
So, guess what company's in the news again? It's our old friends Naughty Dog.
Oh boy, they did the thing again.
So here's a shot first off. We'll do this one quickly. Last of Us HBO series co-creator confirms first wave of characters but leaves one redacted. Finally, The Last of Us will be what it's always meant to be, a TV show.
It's what it's always dreamed of being. I am marginally interested in The Last of Us TV show, but it's really only because Craig Mazin is attached, and Craig Mazin wrote Chernobyl, a show I extremely like. Funny enough, Craig Mazin also wrote The Hangover. And then decided to transition to writing fucking, no, he didn't write The Hangover. That's the guy who directed fucking The Joker. Craig Mazin also has done comedy and decided to transition to post-apocalyptic dread. And you know what? It works. Chernobyl is an extremely good show. So, like, that kind of has me interested in The Last of Us. Just kind of, like, oh, that could be good. I mean, like you said, The Last of Us desperately wants to be a TV show.
Like, yeah, I was only half joking about this, and, like, part of me is, like, I honestly think this story would serve better if it was an HBO drama.
Yeah, instead of having to just stop dead all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Because, I mean, it's not like there's anything terribly revolutionary about The Last of Us gameplay, let's be real.
Let's be completely honest here.
Yeah, so, I think it could be good. I'm kind of interested, so we'll see.
Yeah, so they've said they've cast Ellie, Riley, Tess, Marlena, and Maria, and a few others. So that was the quote from Neil Druckmann.
Okay.
One of those names was redacted. Most likely it's Joel. They've probably cast someone as Joel.
I don't even know who. This is the problem, is that Joel is so quintessentially, like, Troy Baker.
Right? Like, just cast an actor, but then dub over Troy Baker's voice.
I mean, Troy Baker is an actor.
And
like,
he is he is old enough that he could, like,
just grow a beard and put some weight on and
age a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, grow a beard, gain about 20 pounds. He could do it. I mean, he is an actual for real actor. He has been in actual for real acting jobs. So yeah, because it's just so, like, everything about Joel is so tied up in, like, how Troy Baker acts that character. And even, Troy Baker also did all of his motion capture.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's kind of like saying, like, who should we cast as the actor for this Devil May Cry movie we're making?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Who do you think?
Who should play Dante in this movie?
I don't know. Maybe the guy who is just, it's the same vibe, like, 100%. It's just so, like, I can't even fathom anybody else being, and really Ellie is the same way, because Ellie has such a specific sound to her voice.
But her actress is, like, in her 30s. Like, she can't pull off a 15-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, Joel is just so, everything about him and the way he acts and the way he sounds is just, it's just Troy Baker. And that's what kind of, like, Troy Baker lended so much charm to what is otherwise a complete shitbag character, that he makes him likable, and it's like, ugh, I don't know. Maybe also, I'm sure people thought the same thing about fucking Henry Cavill as Geralt, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we remember those first shots of Geralt, like, of Henry Cavill's Geralt, and we were like, this looks awful.
This looks bad.
And then the show ended up being really good.
Show's really good, so, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm tentatively interested in it, because I liked the story of The Last of Us 1. Mm-hmm. And if this is just about 1, then that's fine. I don't give a crap about The Last of Us 2.
God, does anybody... I mean, plenty of people care about The Last of Us 2, but everything I see of that game is just like... Ugh, I'm tired. It just makes me tired looking at it,
Well,
Yeah, it makes a lot of other people tired, too, I fucking bet.
The Last of Us 2 makes a lot of other people tired because our good friend Jason Schreier writes, as Naughty Dog crunches on The Last of Us 2, developers wonder how much longer this approach can last.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's bad.
I'm sure it's misery.
It is. It's getting real bad at Naughty Dog.
Well, they can't retain any talent. That's part of it, is that, like, the people who could make this process go faster and smoother, they're older. They don't want to do this crunch bullshit. And they're like, we don't have to do this. And so they leave. And so then you get more young, inexperienced people. And that means you have to train them. And that means the game takes longer. And then the problems just keep compounding. It's what happened at Telltale. Like, Telltale had a high turnover rate. And it meant that you were spending so much time training people that you weren't spending any time making the games. And so it was just a death spiral kind of thing, and Naughty Dog is having the same problem.
It's that thing where people talk about how, like, they clamor for the return of Rare, right? Well, like, no one at Rare works there who made Donkey Kong and Banjo-Kazooie. They're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
If Rare was allowed to make more platformers, it wouldn't be the same guys at all.
Right, they all went off and made fucking Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah, they did Playtonic.
Yeah, it's fine.
But quote from the article, one major consequence of this culture has been attrition of the 20 non-lead designers in the credits of 2016's Uncharted 4. A whopping 70% are no longer at the studio.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, you can't do that sustainably.
Yeah, this idea of throwing people into the meat grinder and outputting a AAA game, it can't last.
You can't do it forever. It's like burnout is an actual thing.
Yeah.
Eventually people go like, oh, I don't want to do this to myself anymore. Like, there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
And we're getting, and the thing about this is that, like, we're getting such diminishing returns on the spectacle nowadays.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That, like, you know, it's just not feasible anymore. Like back, you know, with Uncharted 4, like all these little graphical, you know, gimmicks and you know, and like details and stuff were amazing. But now that we have a better grasp of the technology, like, it's not as impressive anymore.
Yeah. You know, that's the problem, is that these games and their incredible graphical fidelity, I mean, yeah, it's impressive and it looks great and it's beautiful, but just like after a certain point, like it isn't worth it anymore. Yeah. And these games aren't worth that. You know, this whole idea of just grinding human beings into paste in order to make your video game is just not sustainable. Like, Hollywood still does it to a degree, but they have let up on the practice. I mean, other than the VFX studios who also live in this hell, but their lives are even harder because they shut down all the time, which is a whole other story, but, you know, it's there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, you know, 30, 40 years ago, the idea of like crunch and, you know, 14-hour days and blah, 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 that was a thing that was way more common in Hollywood. And they realized, like, oh yeah, hey, this sucks and people hate it. And it's been phased out to a degree. It does not, you can't make it last. You can't squeeze blood from that stone forever before people just give up. You know, like, it doesn't work forever.
Yeah, like, you're not going to like, eventually the new young talent is going to catch on.
Yeah, and they're not going to work there anymore either, especially, you know, if the pay isn't good enough and they just realize, and so it's this constant, like, the young talent gets their experience working at Naughty Dog, and then they leave and go somewhere more reasonable, and then Naughty Dog has to hire more young talent, and that young talent has to be trained, and that makes the games take longer, it extends crunch, and it just keeps going like that forever. You know, it isn't sustainable. It's going to catch up with them eventually. It catches up with everybody. You know, it caught up with Telltale. It's going to catch up with CD Projekt.
By the time, like, the PS5 comes out, the next console generation starts, like, we're probably going to be seeing a shift in the production of AAA games.
Oh, sure. They're going to be way less.
Like, you know, these sorts of things are not going to be as ubiquitous, like, as common. Like, you know, we're not going to be getting as many God of Wars or Last of Us or Uncharted or Red Dead Redemption, you know? They're just...
Right.
Because people are going to realize that it's not worth it. You know, when BioWare does close its doors for good, and that day is not far off.
That day is coming sooner than people realize. Again, if it makes it to the end of 2020, I'll be shocked.
And, like, when all of these relatively smaller scale studios start making more money, when Western studios finally, like, come to terms with what Japanese studios are doing...
Yeah, like, it's a lot smaller scales. Yeah, I mean, like, there's still Japanese companies that are in the thick of crunch all the time too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's tons of companies that we just don't hear about because we don't speak Japanese.
I mean, yeah, Final Fantasy VII is almost certainly being made in crunch. I mean, let's be real for a second here.
Yeah.
Be realistic. Yes, Final Fantasy VII. There was probably a lot of crunch involved, because this game kind of had a troubled development cycle. That had to be rescued from the CyberConnect game that ended up, they had to scrap all of that work and rebuild the game from the ground up on UE4 instead of their in-house engine. And they did it in a very short amount of time to do that. A miracle. It wasn't a miracle. It was human blood and bone being crushed under a wheel. Like, be realistic for a second here. Your favorite Japanese companies are not immune to this. It happens almost certainly at Nintendo. It happens everywhere. And it's a systemic problem with the industry itself that will eventually burn itself out.
Yeah. And hopefully the talent in that goes on to form indie studios. Like how many indie studios are nowadays made of disgruntled employees from ex-AAA company?
Former BioShock developers. That's the running joke, is that 95% of all indie companies are headed by somebody who worked at BioShock.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's fine.
Every prestigious indie game on Kickstarter is I used to work at BioWare.
Yeah, I worked at BioWare. I made BioShock, and it's it's.
So yeah, eventually we're just gonna start seeing more of that, because we're gonna realize we don't actually need the AAA company to make this game anymore.
I mean, frankly, people say that all the time. Hey, without these nightmarish, development practices, your favorite games probably wouldn't exist, and AAA would no longer be. And I'm like, okay,
all right,
don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh no, we won't get The Last of Us 2, a game we didn't need.
Oh no, it's okay. I mean, I'm excited for Final Fantasy VII, absolutely, but I mean, I don't know.
Here's the thing, Sarah, if Square Enix was a smaller studio, and this was just one game and not spread out into 3 parts,
sure,
would you be oh?
Yeah, no, exactly. If this was a smaller scale remake on with less of the flash and glamour of fucking, Unreal Engine 4, and it was more just a loving recreation of Final Fantasy VII with pre-rendered backgrounds, but they're more detailed and nicer character models, and it was Final Fantasy VII, not quite a remake, not quite a remaster, but something else. What? You think I'm not gonna love that? You think that's not exactly kind of secretly what I actually want?
If they had just given it the RE2 treatment, where it's just oh, here it's more or less the same game, we just switched the camera around and made it look a lot better.
If it had been that, I'd been cool.
Fine,
that sounds great.
That was already the level I would have been satisfied with. The fact that they're going above and beyond is still great, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited to play a game that will take me 300 hours to finish.
Sure, but at the same time,
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary. I don't live and die by AAA games. I buy extremely few AAA games these days, and that isn't about to change anytime soon. Because I'm cheap, and also they don't speak to me like that, and also you should never pay more than $20 for a computer game, according to Monkey Island. So yeah.
So yeah, stop doing that. We don't care that Ellie's eyes dilate when she gets into the sunlight.
Oh god, who gives a fuck about The Last of Us 2? Nobody! I mean, some people do, but those people are idiots. There's
people were saying on Twitter, there certainly won't be the amount of fun crossover that Doom and Animal Crossing had when Xenoblade and Last of Us come out at the same day.
At the same time. Yeah, there's not gonna be fan art like that.
Because Last of Us fans don't know how to have fun.
It's true. Xenoblade Chronicles would be way more interesting than fucking Last of Us 2. That's for damn sure.
The game looks so fucking good.
The game looks really good. The upgrade in that visual fidelity is hoo boy, hell yeah. That's all I want out of my remasters. It doesn't have to be, the full motion CGI of the powerhouse of the Unreal Engine making Cloud's hair look like that. I mean, if it was just some pretty updated models, I'm pretty happy, turns out. I'm a simple creature.
Okay. Well, so we'll get some more bad news out of the way.
Oh god, let's do it quickly.
But this one was obvious. E3 2020 is canceled.
E3 2020 is postponed, and it's technically canceled, but they're going to do some sort of
everyone's
internet thing.
Yeah, they're going to switch to doing digital presentations and stuff.
They're going to do digital presentations, so there's still going to be some version of E3.
I guarantee a lot of studios were already working on digital shows. All right, well, I guess we'll do it after all. Yeah,
and I mean that's fine. Mm-hmm. As long there's still going to be some degree of the conference. And honestly, I heard that the digital GDC was extremely successful in terms of actually moving games, like,
oh, good,
making game sales. Like, I know that, when they did the Game Awards, they did the Game Awards little festival thing on Steam where you could play games for like 2 days for free.
Right.
They did that for GDC as well. I didn't have a chance to get in on it because I was busy. And apparently a lot of people saw a lot of really good returns on game sales then. So, I'm sure they'll probably do something like that for E3, where you can play demos and shit, and people will still tune into these online directs, especially because nobody has anything better to do right now.
This actually might be a boon.
It's probably a boon. You'll have even more eyeballs on E3 stuff if it's all digital. So, like, it sucks because I love the spectacle of E3. Like, there's really nothing like it, and it's fun. It is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
I mean, I love doing it every year. Like, it's one of my favorite things.
Maybe we'll still be able to have some sort of a watch party. Who knows?
Yeah. But, like, the bummer I heard, like, I didn't even think about is that, like, all these indie devs are like, well, I'm not going to get to shake hands.
Yeah.
Like, so many, like, deals and, like, meetings happen at E3.
Yeah, that's the one part that sucks.
Some of these, like, indie studios, like, need that.
Yeah.
And that sucks, It
does suck. It's hard. It's a lot of... But, I mean, it also, this whole everybody being shut in their houses thing right now has been at least somewhat beneficial, because I know that, like, Steam has had more concurrent users now than, like, literally ever. So, like, people are buying video games. People who have never played video games before are buying video games. So, who knows? It could be, maybe it'll still turn out okay with this whole digital sales thing. I don't know.
Well, here's some slightly good news.
Okay.
Kotaku put out an article called A Note About the Work That Goes Into Our Game Reviews. And the long and short of it is that they are going to start counting time where reviewers play games on their technical off hours as overtime.
Oh, that's nice. Good for Kotaku.
So, instead of trying to rush through a game on their work hours and not getting paid, because, when you're a game reviewer, playing a game is your job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you have a schedule to meet, like, it's not exactly like a fun, relaxing time.
Right.
To play a game, so...
Yeah, you have a lot of people burning through, like, games that are meant to take, like, 40, 50 hours. They're getting them done in 20 and missing stuff.
So now they're working that into their paid time. So they don't have to worry about that anymore. So yeah, it's a really good thing.
Good for them.
To come out of that. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, more good news.
Okay.
Animal Crossing devs are loving the Doom crossovers.
Yes.
There was an interview with director Aya Kyogoku and producer Hisashi Nogami, who both talked about how they love seeing the collaboration of Doom and Animal Crossing.
Now, put Doomslayer in Smash and have his trailer involve Isabelle some way. Let's just come full circle, please. I want more so than ever, I want Doomslayer Smash. Now that he has, like, such a full fucking moveset from Eternal with, like, the grappling hook and everything, like... Doomslayer would be a dope character for Smash. Are you kidding me?
He would fit in perfect. Like, perfectly. Eternal after Eternal, like, yeah, he is absolutely perfect for this.
With so many gimmicks that you could turn him into, like, a really cool Smash character. And then you could have Isabelle be in his trailer. So, like, yeah, please make this happen. I think that would be amazing.
Like, the dream for me is, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, where it's like, the dream is Doomslayer comes in at the end of Ridley's reveal trailer.
Yes.
And helps Samus defeat Ridley. And then, like, the post Smash, coming soon, whatever thing, like, the little post-credits thing is, like, him fishing with Isabelle or something.
Yeah, hanging out on an island, you know? That would be ideal. Just both of them chilling out on, like, little lounge chairs by the beach. Perfect. That's what I want. Please. It would be so good.
It would. The quote from Kyogoku is, "I think because there's a common denominator of this type of communication happening between Doom and Animal Crossing fans, and also the fact that Animal Crossing is a communication game, we're very thankful and very thrilled to see all this. We're so excited at the same time to see the two fandoms are coming together to celebrate this day.
That's amazing. Good. It's been like the most charming crossover ever. Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal. It's been a delight.
I've enjoyed every single clip of it I've seen.
It's so cute, and I'm so glad. So please put Doomslayer in Smash. That's all I ask.
It would be nice if we could get some crossover stuff between Final Fantasy and Resident Evil.
We'll see.
Along that lines, but I think part of the joy is just the complete tonal difference in these games.
Yeah, that's totally why. It's just that Rip and Tear and Animal Crossing are vastly different games with completely different objectives and resting heart rates. Yeah. So but I've seen plenty of fan art of Isabelle and Doomslayer armor, so I'm pleased. Yeah. It's good.
It's all worth it. It's perfect. Here's one that's not necessarily good or bad news, but it made me laugh. White House doctor, we need millennials to stay healthy because they know how to speedrun video games.
Oh my god.
This is
Shut up.
Dr. Deborah Bricks in a press conference. Was in a press conference. Says millennials take the threat of infection more seriously. Why? Because they are, quote, part of that group that brought us innovation, particularly throughout all of their ability to look around corners and skip through games. I always went level by level. I didn't realize you could go from level 3 to level 7. That's what they've taught us. They look for things that we don't see. We need them to be healthy.
It's so stupid.
Kotaku
stupid.
It says it's unclear which game Birch is talking about. Maybe Super Mario Brothers 3?
It's so stupid.
Oh god. This is a White House official looking at the country and saying, "Are you winning, son?
Are you winning, son?" Yeah, no. Nothing makes you more like, oh god, we might be living in hell, than when you hear things like that and you just go oh no, this is bad. So stay inside, folks. Don't listen to psychos like her. Just stay in your house, play video games, play some Animal Crossing.
Crouch jump in the corner of your apartment
to speed run through the pandemic.
To clip through the pandemic and come out clean. It's the most embarrassing thing.
Oh god, everything about it is just. We gotta move on.
Pokemon, go to your apartment and stay there. Don't
Shut up! Stop! Horrible! How dare you remind me of that cringy shit? You monster! I almost removed that from my memory. Ugh.
Let's talk about the PS5.
Let's talk about the PS5.
PS5 release date, release date, price, specs, games, and more. They had a thing that was they said very clearly, hey, we're not going to talk about games, and everyone was like, where's the video games though? And they said, we're not talking about video games, it's going to be very boring and dry. It's
literally just Mark Cerny's GDC talk.
Yeah.
It is word for word what he wrote for GDC. I want Mark Cerny to read me Goodnight Moon. That's all I took away from that.
I want him to read me an owner's manual on a radio.
His voice is so soothing. He's just so and then we're going to talk about, he's like Bob Ross. If Bob Ross talked about the PS5.
He's got the necessary energy to do this, much in the same way Reggie Fils-Aimé had the correct energy to talk about Nintendo games.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously a lot of these numbers are meaningless to me.
Sure, yeah.
But there were some words I recognized.
There's some gigaflops in there.
Yeah, 825 gigabyte SSD for storage, sure. 16 gigabyte RAM. A lot of other things I don't understand.
Some really weird stuff about sound that kind of lost me, and I was like, Mark Cerny's gonna talk a really long time about 3D sound. Okay.
It's that image or that clip from the Good Burger movie where he's like, yeah, I know some of these words.
That's it. I understand some of this about 3D sound and stuff. Okay.
Load time, PS4 HDD is 1 gigabyte in 20 seconds. This one is PS5 is 2 gigabytes in 0.27 seconds.
Yeah, The future is cool. This is solid state drives kick ass, folks. If you don't have one yet, they are such a game changer in terms of like making your life so much better. Like I finally have one installed on my PC now. I got a 1 terabyte SSD and I installed it. It was just a clean install. And like, boy, I didn't realize life could be this good. I had never even grasped in my mind that you could just have games boot up this quickly. And Fallout 4 still takes 15 seconds to get started. Because that game is just a mess. Now, mind you, when you are fast traveling, it's like an 8-second fast travel, which is, if you've ever played Fallout 4 on like your PS4 or like an HDD on your PC, that's fast.
Yeah, that's much better.
That's incredibly fast to go from one place on the map to another in 8 seconds. Like, for a fucking Bethesda game that is notoriously, a Bethesda game. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's fast. And so there are other games that are actually, put together correctly. And those things have no load times at all. Like, that's just 1 second tops, maybe.
I've said this before, but I cannot wait to play Spider-Man PS4 and actually find the fast travel to be a useful feature.
Instead of just a way to watch Spider-Man goof around on... Oh, excuse me. Yeah. To goof around on his phone on the subway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, a lot of good things. Backwards compat with the PS4, but boy, that text box was kind of barren.
Awful big!
You could have easily fit 2 or 3 more titles in that box.
Cerny? Are you holding something up your sleeve? For E3?
God, could you imagine the E3 show where they show that card again?
And then they pull it away and it's surprise, it plays everything.
Titles, or console titles phase in the title card.
That would be amazing. Please, yes. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm. It also will be very nice to have a Sony console that doesn't sound like a fucking jet engine when I try to play Doom on it.
Please. Even doing small basic things, because I don't have a Pro, y'all. Mm-hmm. I have a base PS4. Final Fantasy VII is going to turn it into slag. I don't know what to do. I'm really afraid.
You're gonna look over and you're just gonna see your PS4 hovering slightly because the fan is running that hard.
I'm terrified my PS4 is gonna catch fire. It can't handle little things sometimes. And you want me to make that thing run a big thing? Oh boy. I'm really not looking forward to those load times. That's all I gotta say, because it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be an experience.
We're just I'm gonna live through it, but boy, yeah.
Can't wait to play Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PS5 and have a completely different experience, because load times are gone.
Oh my god, I can't wait. It will be funny, though, because it means that all of those, those jokey joke, load screens and stuff are dead. Mm-hmm. They're just all dead now. Mm-hmm. Like the Instagram things on Kingdom Hearts 3, they're dead.
Yeah.
Those are gone. Forever. You don't have to worry about that ever again. You don't need to write jokey joke. Fallout 4's fucking load screens that show you the models and stuff. Gone. Those won't be a thing. Gone.
No,
gone.
Don't need it.
Amazing. It's a weird future, folks.
I am looking forward to never, ever, ever having a character squeeze through a small crevice in a mountain.
Oh, I know. Oh, or riding a long elevator. Cerny explicitly mentioned Jak 2. He mentioned the elevators in his fucking pitch for the PS5, and I was like, hey, I remember those. Those sucked.
I remember seeing, because he mentioned Jak 2, and people were like, why did you mention the Jak series? What's happening? Are you making a new Jak game?
Oh my god.
No, he's not.
No,
maybe.
Not.
No, he's not.
They're not.
But what if? No, he's not.
Naughty Dog wants to make movies now. They're not going to make Jak. That's fun. What are you talking about?
Hey, Insomniac.
Oh God, could you imagine?
Steal the license from it like you've always wanted to do.
They're both owned by fucking Sony now. They just could. They could just be like, hey, we're taking this.
That would be so much like fucking Sonic and Smash. Like,
yeah. Oh
hey,
my God.
Insomniac, we're making the next Jack game.
Right? Man. But Insomniac's too busy making Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So after Spider-Man 2, make
We'll see. Oh, man. Next.
So more good news. The rest of this is all good news.
Okay.
That's what's all good news. Epic Games Publishing announces partnerships with Gen Design, Playdead, and Remedy Entertainment. Boy, this is a good deal.
It's a good deal.
Epic
they cover the cost of everything.
Let me go. So here's the article, what the article says. This is from Epic themselves, by the way, too.
Yeah, it's a press release.
Full creative freedom and ownership. Developers retain 100% of all intellectual property and full creative control of their work. Cool. Fully funded projects. Epic Games Publishing will cover up to 100% of development costs, from developer salaries to go-to-market expenses such as QA, localization, marketing, and all publishing costs. And 50-50 profit sharing. Developers earn a fair share for their work. Once costs are recouped, developers earn at least 50% of all product profits.
That's crazy.
That's a really good deal.
That is an insanely good deal. Like, that just to have creative control and 100% of your costs covered by Epic is intense. That's a lot.
Epic saying, we'll pay for everything.
Yeah.
You give us 50% of your sales.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Pretty good. Yeah. So, and I mean, it's good for Remedy, because Remedy made Control. And so, like, they said Control did well, and they broke even on it, but if Control had only ever broken even, they would have gone under, probably. And so the money they've gotten from Epic has basically let them keep making the game they want to make. And that's really interesting, because, Control is, despite maybe being just kind of like an okay third-person shooter, it is a visually interesting third-person shooter. It's kind of the selling point of that game, and it's why so many people talk about Control, is because of its the visual concepts behind it. So yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see where this goes, and if it just means that Remedy and the other two companies, who I don't know what they've made, but obviously I recognize Remedy in this list.
Yeah, I've never actually heard of them, so I don't know what they do, but I mean...
But it's interesting just to be able to be like, yeah, make whatever you want, So, that's cool. That's exciting.
It's very rich uncle of them.
It's extremely rich uncle of them. But, I mean, hey, they're clearly doing... I mean, I guess the Epic Games launcher, despite not having a shopping cart still, I guess is doing well enough. I mean, I've said before, the Epic Games launcher does not offend me. It's just a storefront. It doesn't bother me. It's just a way for me to buy good video games, so whatever. But yeah, no, I think it's great if it means that companies like Remedy can keep making like original product instead of making the same damn thing over and over again, like Sony studios kind of tend to do.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'm totally on board with that. So yeah.
Yeah, it was I hope they extend this to more companies, because that would be really cool.
Yeah. We'll see.
Let's see. One more. We have two more.
Okay.
Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 teaser trailer.
Boy! Yeah! We're in it! Fucking Nier remake! I hope you are... God! Hell yeah! I woke up and I was like, what the why is Nier trending? Why is Nier trending?
Also, Nier Reincarnation, is that it?
I don't know. It's a mobile game. Yeah, I'm tentatively caring about it. Who cares?
Mobile game.
Fuck it. I mean, it could be good. Who knows? I mean, I'm addicted to a mobile game right now, so fuck. I can't judge anymore. But whatever. Fucking Replicant remake. Specifically Replicant, because we did not get Brother Nier in the United States. We got Father Nier. Yes. I'm a little sad. I'm really hoping that with the Replicant remake, maybe they'll put Gestalt just just Gestalt as it is, not like a remake or a remaster. They'll just put it on the PSN so I can also play it.
That would be cool, yeah.
That's ideal. Because, they're not going to remake Gestalt alongside Replicant, especially because Gestalt was probably the most bizarre localization decision ever, although it is one that panned out. A lot of people really like Nier Gestalt because they like the whole being a dad thing. It was different than being like a Japanese teenager, yet again, like a teenage boy yet again in a Square Enix game. Like revolutionary.
Here's what they need to do.
What?
Because the Japanese one is you're a Japanese teenager older brother, and in America you are the dad.
Right.
So what they need to do is they need to remaster Gestalt for Japan.
Yes! Oh man, then I would be forced to import fucking Gestalt as well. But yeah, no. But also this game is explicitly like, it is kind of a remake. Like, they are adding new content.
Mm-hmm. I think they're recasting everyone too?
I really hope not everyone, because, you can't replace Laura Bailey as Kaine.
No, you can't.
Nobody can do the speech to Vice the way Laura Bailey can do it. Like the Vice, you dumbass speech that was just like, it was just like, oh fuck, okay, it's one of those games. I can't imagine anybody else doing it and it sounding nearly as good. So I really, and fucking Liam O'Brien as Vice is so good too. Like he is on fire in Nier, and it would be such a shame for him to be recast. It wouldn't be the same. I really, really hope they don't do that. I know that they have to recast some people because, obviously Brother Nier does not have a fucking voice actor in America.
Right.
But, God, please just bring back, the really good ones from the original, because it just won't be the same.
Do what you need to get the union voice actors in, please.
Yeah, don't be assholes who union bust. Come on, guys. Get fucking Laura Bailey. I know that Laura Bailey and Liam O'Brien are busy making insane amounts of money off of Critical Role, but, lure them back to record some lines, fuck's sake. Because it just won't be, it'll still be good, but I might just play it in Japanese, just because it's if it's not going to be the voices that I really, really remember, then just do it in a completely different language and just, roll with it.
Also, don't do the Vesperia thing and just recycle the voice lines and have a new voice actor pop in every so often.
That would be really bad, too.
Please don't do that.
Just either re-record the whole game or bring the old voice actors back.
Yeah.
But fuck! It's still a goddamn...
I can't wait.
It's a Nier remake!
I can't wait for Nier to be good.
Nier is gonna be good! And instead of just, good but kind of bad to play, fuck, it's gonna be so good. And it's gonna be completely fucking bonkers. You know it, too. It's not just a one-to-one remake, y'all. You are out of your mind if you think that you'll be able to... I'll tell you right now, there is no version of reality that exists where you can just substitute playing Nier for the Nier replicant. That's the hard truth, is that you are almost certainly not going to get the full story. They're going to change something, and it's going to be completely batshit because Yoko Taro. They already talked about adding a new character, so, they're talking about maybe a chord from Drakengard 3 is going to get in, yes!
I think they've already confirmed that 2B and 9S's voice actors are going to be in it.
Yes! Let's go!
They didn't say the characters, but they said their voice actors are there.
Well, A2 is not explicitly, but insinuated to be based off of Kaine. And 2B is based off of A2. So that's why they have kind of overlapping memories and stuff. And also because of all the shit that happens in Automata. Oh god. But but also A2 is supposed to be the last, her line of models was the last line of models that had old memories, and then they're oh right, this is probably a bad idea because it's making all of our robots crazy, so they stopped doing that. But I mean, like, fuck, Yoko Taro doesn't care. He can do whatever he wants. He put canon information for Nier in a goddamn Memorpica. Like, Yoko Taro doesn't care. He says, fuck you.
I cannot believe that fucking Final Fantasy XIV is canon to Nier Automata.
Yeah, it is. Go fuck yourself. Welcome to the wild world of Yoko Taro.
And in a weird way, so is Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, I love it. Let's go. Nothing matters.
Which means that Geralt is canon to Nier.
Yep. That is correct. And that also means that so is Daemon X Machina, because Geralt is in that for some reason.
And so is Samurai Showdown. Because the Samurai Showdown character is confirmed for DLC in Soul Calibur.
There you go. It's all one big continuity. And frankly, if you told me Yoko Taro had planned that from the start, I would have been like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Sure.
This is wildly off topic, but speaking of like all these weird interconnection things.
Yes.
So Spawn is in Mortal Kombat, right?
Yes.
He has dialogue with Scorpion. In the pre-banter thing where he says, so you've been to other worlds, and Scorpion says, yes, I faced a lot of injustices there.
Oh my god.
And Spawn says, maybe that's why my soul still burns.
Oh my god. I love it. The convoluted stupid ass multiple universes. But the point is that no, there's no version of reality where like playing the Replicant remake will be adequate to understand the plot of like Nier 1, you know, because that is exactly the kind of thing my man's Yoko Taro would do, which I mean, I'm cool with it. Bring it on. Absolutely.
This is way more likely, because we've joked about Final Fantasy VII Remake being a sequel to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, of course.
This is way more likely to actually be a sequel to
Automata. This is way more likely to be a sequel to Automata. Are you insane? Like, do not trust this man.
There's gonna be a cutscene in the Replicant remake where you wander into a facility and you see footage of like the original PS3 release of Replicant. And it's gonna be like, oh yeah, you've done this cycle before.
You've done this before, haven't you? It's all gonna turn out to be like, this is all gonna turn out to be like simulated. This is all gonna turn out to be simulated on the bunker servers. Not the bunker, but the servers on the moon.
Oh my god.
There you go. I just cracked the case for everybody. That's exactly what this is. It's not actually going to be, it's gonna be its own thing. Yeah. And that's how they're gonna somehow fit A2 and or 2B and 9S in there.
Also, the long string of numbers, in case people didn't know, that's because
translates to 1.5.
Yeah, it's a square root of 1.5.
There you go.
So
because of course, right?
So maybe that means Gestalt will get a port because it'll be the other half.
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect. It's kind of like, what was the DLC for Automata had like an insanely long name. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find it really quickly. Yeah, Nier Automata's DLC is 3C 3C 1D 119440927.
And doesn't that translate into something like super obvious?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what, but hold on. Maybe if I click through here. Let me see. Content. Maybe if I Googled more thoroughly, but also I don't really care to. But yeah, no. That's Yoko Taro for you. He loves lots of numbers. Hi. So yeah, I'm
very excited.
Incredibly excited for this. Like, man, that lit my ass on fire just to be like, oh my god, yes, you can actually play Nier to some degree and it won't be misery.
Like, between this, Xenoblade and Final Fantasy VII. It's like, oh, holy shit, we're in a trinity of RPGs now.
Thank God. I am ready. Really more so than ever for fucking... It's been a while since I've had some Nier content in my life, so I'm ready.
Yeah, boy, this is going to be good. One more. This is a rumor. I don't normally put rumors on the docket, but I think we need this rumor in these trying times.
Give me.
Sources. Nintendo Switch 2020 lineup dominated by Mario games, old and new. This is from Eurogamer, so they're a credible news source. Mm-hmm. Rumors are that for the 35-year anniversary for Mario... they're going to renew or update a bunch of classic games or like port them to the Switch. Stuff like 64, Sunshine.
Galaxy.
Galaxy's on the list. Apparently, this article got updated and Gematsu has confirmed 64 and Sunshine.
That's awesome.
Getting remastered.
Well, good.
Dope. Cool.
Dope.
Apparently,
very cool.
This one hasn't been confirmed by another source yet, but another Paper Mario is in the works. As well as a deluxe version of Mario 3D World.
Okay,
which is
cool.
good. Save that game from the Wii U.
Yeah,
pull it off the Wii U and give it new life.
That game needs to get on a console that people actually played. Hey, I read the other day the Switch has officially outsold the Wii.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that fast.
That's big.
Well, I mean, especially, again, with everybody locked in their homes right now.
Right.
Like, people really, really need something to do. And so, like, it's actually super hard to get a Switch right now. Because, like, stock keeps getting bought up really fast. So, like, yeah, this is everybody's buying Switches. Everybody's playing video games. Now is the perfect time to save 3D World from the pits of the Wii U mines. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's great. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to play Sunshine again for real.
Yeah! Maybe they'll tweak it so that it isn't quite so... like all those cutscenes and stuff at the beginning of the game and all those little things that kind of make it like, Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe they'll give it... I mean, they said they're like remasters, so they might introduce some new stuff.
I would also like to see a remaster of Galaxy.
Yeah. Galaxy is so good. Fuck.
Galaxy is fucking good.
Galaxy's so fucking good.
And if it's a new Paper Mario, I'd love to see, like... a return to the RPG format instead of like these platforming, bad ones that have been coming out.
Yeah. Who knows? I would love to see a new fucking actual Nintendo turn-based RPG, Mm-hmm. Please.
Yeah, like I'm like it's so weird to think that stuff like 64 and Sunshine like haven't been ported. And there really is no way to play them unless you own a GameCube.
Unless you own a GameCube or... Did 64 get ported to the GameCube?
It got ported to the DS. But that's
right.
It. I think it's been like... It was re-released on the Switch on the Virtual Console, for the Wii on the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it made it to the Wii U's Virtual Console, and it definitely didn't make it to the Switch's.
Man.
Like, it's so weird, like...
Yeah, it's so... I mean, like, it is so transformative that it's weird that you can't really play Super Mario 64. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it's the 35th anniversary. This is the perfect time to, like, get a ton of people playing all of the old Mario classics. I think that would be amazing. And then, just put them all out. Get everything on the Virtual Console. Get all of the Marios, and then, it can just print money. That's what that's what the Mario franchise does. It prints money, guys. That
is it as far as news goes.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's been a trying few weeks to a month, and
this month won't end.
It's not gonna improve for a little while. We'll be real.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. But then, just hang in there. Play some video games. Stay inside and wash your hands.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I gotta say. Okay.
Yeah. So that'll do it for us. Thank you, Broke Free, for background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. And since you have nothing else to do, you might as well listen to a bunch more podcasts. You should probably listen to every single episode of Sara's other podcast.
It's true. We have a lot of other episodes. Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We try out lots of different systems. We have a lot of fun. You're not doing anything else, buddy. So you might as well just stay inside and listen to me play some RPGs. We're playing Blades in the Dark right now, which is one of my favorite systems ever. It's kind of like a thief-style system based around doing heists in like a cool Victorian magical era. You should absolutely come check us out. We're at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks!
Listen, you can't get your friends together to play tabletop games, so you might as well listen to other people play them and pretend.
It's true. Alright.
Alright, that'll do it for us.
Fuck this coronavirus shit, man.
Fuck all this that's happening.
I'm so over this. I'm really tired of living in a historical event. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I just want to go to bed. I might just go to bed after this. Good night, everyone.
Good night.